How to stop approval seeking in 5 steps. Here's a pattern that a lot of people never catch themselves in, right? You walk into a room and without even consciously deciding to do it, you immediately start scanning and feeling the vibe for the room, right? Not for connection, but for how you're being perceived. Like, how does the energy of the room feel when you walk in? Like, what are they thinking about me? And in that moment, when that becomes the goal, being liked, everything changes.
Everything changes.
You get slightly less honest, a little bit more agreeable, a little bit quicker to laugh at something that isn't even funny. A little less likely to disagree with somebody.
I disagree.
Right? You start editing in real time and filtering out anything that you think might not be perceived as being perfect. You're still in the room, but you've left the conversation. And that's what really approval seeking does. And once you can see it, you'll never unsee it.
Well, I can never unsee that.
Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Brian Bradshaw. I'm author of the book Accomplish Anything and founder of The Social Edge. And on this channel, we talk about communication skills, confidence, and charisma. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Okay, let's get this straight right off the bat. Approval seeking is not a character flaw. It's a survival mechanism that made sense at one point. For most people, it developed early with teachers, with parents, with authority figures, with teammates, in environments where approval determined how safe and comfortable you felt, where being liked meant being okay, and where conflict or disapproval contained real consequences. Your nervous system learned, keep people happy and you stay safe. That's not weakness, that's an adaptation. The problem is that most people carry this strategy into adulthood, right? With family, with coworkers, with peers, with bosses, with subordinates, long after the original conditions that created it are gone. And so you keep performing safety behaviors that don't serve you anymore. You agree when you really want to disagree, right? You deflect when you really want to be direct. You shrink yourself to fit the shape of the room and then wonder why the room never quite feels like home. People pleasing feels safe because it removes the immediate discomfort of disapproval, but it trades short-term comfort for long-term disconnection. Because here's where it actually costs. When you're always performing this better version of yourself that you think you need to be to seek approval from others, they never really get to see the real you.
I see you.
There's a reason why approval seeking can be so hard to stop, even when you know it's happening. It's genuinely reinforcing. When you say what you think someone really wants to hear, when you agree, when you soften, when you accommodate, you get a small neurological reward. Getting approval activates the same reward circuitry as other pleasurable activities. It feels good, and things that feel good become habits. Over time, that pattern becomes a loop. Seek approval, receive it, feel relief, repeat. The relief feels like connection, but it isn't. It's only the temporary removal of fear. And like most things that are built around avoiding fear rather than moving to something real, it doesn't fully satisfy. Which is why approval seekers often feel like no amount of positive reception makes them feel secure for very long. The fear comes back, the monitoring starts again. This is approval addiction in its clearest form. Not a moral failure, but in a pattern of getting emotional needs met that never fully meets them. The deeper problem is what it does to your sense of self over time. When external approval becomes the primary way of how you regulate yourself and your behavior, about how you feel about yourself, your self-perception becomes dependent on a source that you can't control. You feel good when people respond well. You feel destabilized when they don't. Your emotional state becomes a function of other people's reactions, which means you're never really on solid ground. The people that seem the most confident aren't the ones that found a reliable source of external approval. They're the ones who built an internal one. There's a real common misunderstanding about what confidence is anyway. Most people think of confidence as a feeling, something you need before you act. You wait until you feel confident, then you act, then you raise your hand, then you ask the question, then you take a risk, then you show the real version of you. That's not how it works. And for approval seekers, that pattern can be particularly destructive because you're waiting on an internal feeling that's coming from an external input. You feel confident when people respond well, so you keep performing. Keep waiting for enough positive feedback to finally feel good about yourself. The reality is, authenticity does not follow confidence. Confidence follows authenticity. When you stop editing yourself in real time, when you say the thing, when you have the opinion, when you take up the space, and the world doesn't collapse around you, you built a tiny piece of evidence. Evidence that you can actually exist as you, and you'll still be okay. That evidence, accumulated over time, that's what builds confidence. It's not a feeling you wait for, it's a track record you build by taking action before you are ready. The alternative, performing until you feel confident, is a trap that you'll never exit, because the performance prevents the very evidence that creates the confidence. You'll never find out if the real you is accepted because you never show the real you. And here's the thing no one tells you about trying to be liked. The harder you try to be liked, the less likely you are to be liked.
He ain't lying.
It's not that everybody's just so mean, it's that the attempt is clearly visible. And the visibility is what kills the authenticity. When someone's really working hard to be liked, everyone around can feel it, and nobody likes to have that feeling. Like it registers as something from something slightly off to like full-blown just ick.
Ew, gross.
Right? Even just a faint sense of that you're getting a performance, you're not actually getting the person. And here's the worst part. The very thing that approval seekers are most afraid of, not being liked, is exactly what their approval-seeking attention behavior tends to produce. Meanwhile, people who just attract genuine liking and real trust are also the people that tend to act like they don't need it in the first place, right? Not cold, not arrogant, just indifferent. They're not performing for the room, they're just in it. This is the paradox of likability. The less you seek it, the more often you are to get it. And it makes sense if you think about it. What we actually respond to in people isn't the effort to be liked, right? It's natural, it's relaxed, it's not a show. Like just being in the presence of someone who's in the moment and they're not auditioning. When someone disagrees with you calmly and without apology, something really cool happens. They go up in your estimation. They seem more real, more genuine, more trustworthy, more like somebody worth knowing. Because realness is rare, and rare things are always more compelling. So what do you do with all this? Here are 5 concrete things, not affirmation, not mindset hacks, actual behavior shifts that interrupt the approval-seeking loop and build real confidence. Step number 1, notice the edit before it happens. The approval loop doesn't start with people-pleasing behavior. It starts with a thought you had but didn't say out loud, a reaction that you suppress, something you catch yourself about to say but don't. Start catching that moment. Not forcing yourself to just say whatever you think, but to make the editing visible to yourself. Because most approval seeking runs on autopilot. And the first step is simply seeing it operate in real time. When you feel that pull to agree, to laugh that something isn't funny, to just conform to what everybody else is going along with, notice it.
I noticed.
Name it internally. Well, that's the edit. You don't have to override it yet, just notice it. Awareness before behavior change, always. Step number 2, let the real opinion land in the conversation. Don't try to overhaul your entire social behavior all at once. That's overwhelming, that's too much. And it's a recipe for anxiety and regression. Instead, pick one moment in one conversation and give yourself permission to say what you actually think.
You suck, LaRusso! You suck, man!
Not aggressively, not performatively, just say it. Or disagree with something mildly. Offer a perspective that isn't shaped on what you think they want to hear. Hold a position when somebody pushes back. 1 moment per conversation. This will take practice. Over time, you'll notice 2 things. The discomfort in awkward situations and conversations will go away, and you'll feel more confident in yourself in doing it. And watch the quality of your conversations increase. Step number 3, sit with the discomfort of an unknown reaction. One of the most useful things you can do is send the email, send the text, raise your hand, say the thing, make the statement, take the position, and not immediately seek validation that it landed well. Don't anxiously monitor their reaction. Don't fill the silence with reassurance. Don't rush in and say, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Whoops!
Let it sit. Let the uncertainty of the moment be there and feel it. This is the exact muscle that approval-seeking behavior has been trying not to use. And like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more times you act without immediately seeking confirmation that what you did was right, the more you learn that uncertainty is survivable. That's the data you need. Number 4, build your internal reference point. Before a social situation where you know approval-seeking behavior is likely to spike, a first date, a job interview, a meeting with somebody you're really looking to impress, a conversation with someone whose opinion really matters to you, stop and ask yourself this question. What do I actually think about this? What would I actually say if I didn't care how it landed? Write it down if you need to. Say it out loud. The goal is to have a clear internal position, a conviction, before you enter the room. So you have something to return to when you feel that pull to be a performer kicks in. This isn't about being rehearsed or perfect. It's about having a self that exists before the other people's reactions. So the reactions don't shape the you in the moment. And step number 5, choose depth over breadth in relationships. Approval seeking thrives in environments where people around you and you're not sure of their opinions of you, where there's uncertainty present. And it tends to diminish in environments with genuine closeness. One of the most powerful long-term antidotes to approval-seeking behavior is to have a genuine connection with a small group of friends or a small group of people who you love, who you care about, where you can be yourself, where you can express yourself, where you can be fully known for who you are inside, what you think and what you believe. Those experiences and those relationships, those are what rewire your nervous system to tell you that authenticity is actually valued. Like broad social performance keeps you safe on the surface, but deep, honest connection, that's what builds the confidence that eliminates the need for approval seeking. The reason why so many people struggle in social situations isn't because they're not interesting or they don't have great stories or fun hobbies to talk about. Or it's not that they're not confident enough or they lack the personality. It's that they've made approval the goal. And when approval is the goal, authenticity disappears. Not all at once, little by little, edit by edit, biting your tongue here and biting your tongue there. Going to raise your hand and put it down. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say something, right? Little by little, one suppression by one suppression, until the person that shows up in the room isn't even you anymore. It's a shell of you. And the way back from this isn't just a dramatic reversal of your personality. It's small steps, little by little, incremental every day. One real opinion, one unsoftened response, one small disagreement, one moment where you let the silence sit and didn't rush in to fill it with something. We don't find ourselves by waiting to feel safe. We find ourselves by letting ourselves go and be open and discovering who we were all along. If you enjoyed this topic and you want to go much deeper, I have a link down below to my Substack article. I go way more in depth. And if you stay this long to the very end, again, I thank you for your time and I'll see you in the next video.